And hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sasquatch Secrets. Tonight, of course, we have our celebration of life for Joseph Snyder, Western New York Bigfoot. And we've got people lined up backstage to come on. And oops, looks like I lost. Okay, there they come back on. Okay. We got a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about our favorite person, Joe, and it's going to be a good time. So, but right now, I'm going to go ahead and forego my normal video intros for everybody, and I'm just going to bring people on. But of course, number one, I have to bring Miss Goddess herself, Molly.
Of course.
Hello.
Of course.
How are you?
I'm good. I was trying to log in to see the comments. That's why when you were like, "Where'd she go?" and I was like, oh shit, what did I just do?
I'm like, wait a minute, that's the most important person.
I was like, oh, log in to see comments. And I'm like, oh, I didn't log in. I wanted to see who was on, but that's okay.
Yeah. So
I'm here. I'm here. I am doing the best that I can. That's it.
I know. All our thoughts and prayers have been with you through this whole time. I feel like we all took a little bit of that journey with you, and it's going to be rough for quite a while, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know, all of us, we've all had our moments, and I am. I'll go ahead and bring everybody on, but I think that's probably best. Why is that doing that? I don't know why it's doing that. It won't let me get up to my comments either. There they are.
Yeah, it's almost like I want to log in and disappear and come back.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
But I'm going to wait for you to get Leon and Jan and everybody else on, and then I'm going to maybe...
Let's do it that way then. Leon.
Leon.
Oh, Leon, how are you?
All hail Leon.
Oh, get out of here. By the way, I love your new design you have in your living room or where you're at. Is it your office area there?
This is my office, yes. Oh. I should turn on a light so it's not so dark and dismal.
No, it looks good.
No.
Oh, that's okay.
There you go.
Just
anyone who's a New York Yankees fan will be like, oh, wait, wrong hand. Wrong hand. What is this?
I'm going to back up a little bit.
I can't quite.
I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. I'm a die-hard Boston Red Sox fan, and if I could, after your introduction, I'll tell you a funny story about Joseph.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Mike, Technical Bigfoot in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Mike. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Do we have sound on, Mike?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
I don't know.
Come on, Mike,
can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Is something working here? All right.
Yeah.
I'm on the road, so.
Really?
I don't know how my internet's going to be.
Oh.
You sound good.
Are you driving?
We got you good.
You look solitary.
No, I just jumped into a hotel quick to jump on. I had to come to Florida to check on a relative.
So what kind of hotel? Because that depends on the Wi-Fi. Are you in a Comfort Inn? Or are you in a Hilton or an IMF?
It's a Hilton. It's one of those phone twos, but I'm running off my MiFi. Yeah.
Oh, no, not good.
I'm just trying to figure out what's their internet is compared to mine. So.
All right. So I have to start this off, Nikki, with the only thing on the planet that has kept me kind of sane is Sally. And as everybody knows from Joseph's videos of Sally, she also kept him sane. And everywhere I go, everything I do is my dog. And she has just been amazing. And I had said when I went up to the veterinary to pick up, because Phyllis, our cat, died about a week before Joseph. and she had been crucified. Oh my God, cremated, and wrong word, and cremated, and I had forgotten to pick her up. I mean, as you can imagine, I had forgotten to pick her up, and so I picked her up last week. And I said, I'm so sorry, late in picking her up. I said, and I walked in with a bag of Chipotle because I'd gone to Chipotle beforehand. And I walked in and I said, I wish this bag of Chipotle was for you, but it's actually for me. But I can't leave it in the car because everywhere I go, the dog goes with me. We used to joke that she was a Velcro dog before, but now that Joseph isn't around, I can't go anywhere. I mean, I can't go anywhere. So, I'm actually, I don't want to blame it on her because whenever I go anywhere, I want her to go with me. So it's like a symbiotic kind of relationship.
You're gonna need each other for sure. For sure.
And I said to the veterinary clinic, I was like, so I brought the Chipotle in because the dog with the Chipotle, but I can't. I couldn't leave her at home because I need her to come here. But at the same time, when I leave the house, she wants to come. So it's like this whole thing. I said, meanwhile, my dog has turned into an emotional support animal. But I think my dog needs an emotional support animal. And the woman in the veterinary clinic was like, you are the dog's emotional support animal. And I was like, well, life is good then. Like, life is good because we are good. Come on.
That's good.
Come on.
I wanted to start off tonight with a little, intro monologue. And hopefully I can get through all this. But as I start here, so everybody, welcome everybody, Bigfoot family and friends. Thank you for joining Molly and I and the rest of the guests today as we gather to celebrate the remarkable life of Joseph Snyder, a man whose journey began on January 8th, 1964, and who, with a heart full of curiosity and adventure, touched the lives of many in the ways that are both profound and unforgettable. As we come together to honor Joe's memory, we recognize not only the date of his birth, but the vibrant spirit that accompanied him throughout his life. Joe was more than just a man born on January 8th. He was a force of nature, a seeker of truth, and the beloved member of our community. Many of you knew Joe as a dedicated and passionate Bigfoot investigator, a pursuit that spoke to his sense of wonder and his unyielding belief in the mysteries that surround us. Today we celebrate not only his contributions to the world of cryptozoology, but the essence of Joe himself, a man whose laughter echoed through the forests he explored, whose enthusiasm lit up the darkest corners of the unknown, and whose kindness resonated with all of us who had the privilege of knowing him. On October 17th, 2023, we said farewell to Joe. But today is not a day of sorrow alone. It is a day to celebrate the extraordinary life he led and the indelible mark he left on each of our hearts. So let us come together to share stories, laughter, and tears, and pay tribute to the memory of Joe Snyder, who was a friend, a seeker, and a soul who will forever remain in the tapestry of our lives. So thank you guys for being here.
Molly, I just want to come over there and give you a big hug. Hang in there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is wonderful to hear that. And it's so cathartic. Actually, in the end, it's cathartic for me because I have isolated myself a lot from everybody. So it's nice for people. God, he was such a wonderful man. So it's nice to hear that. It's just nice to hear that, and I can't talk anymore. So somebody else say something.
Yeah. I'm going to ask that whoever wants to, who's on the panel first, to go ahead and, give us your feelings if you feel like it. I have all kinds of stuff. I wrote him a poem. I wrote down some funny stuff that happened. Right now, though, I'm going to stop and we're going to go ahead and we're going to play something. I had to take it down. Now I got to bring it back up.
And by the way, when I have to tell you, when Joseph came home from the hospital, he and I both quit smoking because our nephew Jack had gotten lung cancer. So we both quit smoking. And we were like, "Grr." And the day he came home from the hospital and the determination was that there's nothing they could do for him. He had liver cancer. And so he was like, honey, go buy us some cigarettes. And I was like, let's do this. So I have to tell you, throughout this, I did start smoking again. So because of the nature of what we're doing here, I will probably be chain smoking. And for those of you worried about my health, I will try to make amends in the new year. Go ahead, Nikki.
Good.
I'm gonna
Great.
light a cigarette.
So I'm going to play something that our good friend Brent Dill created for Joe, and it's beautiful.
Oh my God!
Joseph.
Oh God, I love us.
And I am the founder and currently the only investigator for the Western New York Bigfoot Research Organization.
Only 1 hour ago, it was all so different then. Nothing yet has really sunk in. Looks like it always did. This flesh and bone, it's just the way that we are tied in. That there's no one home. I agree. You leave me. So hard to move on. Still loving what's gone. You see, life carries on. Carries on and on and on and on. the news that truly shocks is the empty, empty page, while the final rattle rocks. It's empty, empty cage, and I can't handle this. I grieve for you. You leave me. Let it out and move on. Missing what's gone. See, life carries on. See, life carries on and on and on.
You know, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And I'll be coming at you with something coming up. So, everybody, love you. Have a good night.
Bigfoot penis. That was the only thing. I love that whole thing. It's so hard for me to watch because it's so beautiful. I just wish at the end there was a Bigfoot penis.
Yeah,
but it is so beautiful, Nikki. That is a
it was
tribute.
beautiful. Brent did a great job on it, and
Good job, Brent.
it was really beautiful. And I had to show it. I had told him I was going to use it right away. I said I'm using that. So
you have to. It was beautiful.
yeah.
Don't you love at the beginning? He's like, "Hi, I'm a Western Bigfoot, and I'm the only researcher."
Young looking too, eh? Holy moly!
Yeah. I don't know why.
And yet I'm 15 minutes down the road and I don't meet him until I go to Pennsylvania, and then not again until Whitehall 3 years later.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And we're down the street from each other.
Let's make that clear.
Craziness.
We're Western New York. If you're within an hour radius, you're down the street. It's like, I have a director of mine at work. They were all trying to figure out like something to do for us, and one of my directors like, "Oh, she's my neighbor. I can bring her food." And so it was so great. UVAR is so great. They brought this basket of food and gift certificates and everything. And I was like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Oh, I'm right down the street."
Right.
And she's like, Mike will know this. She's like, "I'm in Honeoye Falls." And I'm like,
past my house.
like, I'm like, that's like a 40-minute drive. That's like down the street. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Anyway.
Yeah. What I was gonna say next is that we all have fond memories, right? And I know there's got to be some stories out there. And I mean, I'll go ahead and start with one that a lot of you were there for, but I decided to let ChatGPT help me out with the story.
Interesting.
And it was funny. So I'm gonna read what happened, and a lot of you, like I said, were present during this. So let's see. how this goes. So picture this. Joe surrounded by the mysterious glow of his computer screen, deep in the midst of a broadcast on Sasquatch Secrets. It was a serious affair, or it seemed to be, until the universe decided to add a touch of humor to the mix. With one misstep, Joe sent his computer monitor cascading off the desk, crashing to the floor in a cacophony of chaos. Now, any ordinary person might have cringed or panicked, but not our man Joe. Oh no, Joe was a maestro of profanity, and in that moment, he unleashed a symphony of colorful language that could rival a seasoned sailor. Little did he know, the entire mishap was broadcast live to all witnesses. But did he flinch? Not a bit. Instead, he doubled down on laughter, recognizing the hilarity of the situation and turning a technical glitch into a comedic masterpiece. And that was Joe, and this is it.
There he is. The traveling Sasquatch. Oh, man. Oh, no.
Yeah, I love that.
That was great. Oh my God, that was great.
Yep, that's a memory I will always have. And I told him right after that happened, I go, I'm going to make your intro out of that. Which Leon knows well that I do that. I did that for Leon too. But he went right along with it after he realized what had happened. And, we went on with the show because it was right at the beginning that happened. He's always taken things pretty lighthearted, and that's something I always appreciated about him. But and then there's those moments where he transformed an ordinary gathering, right, into an unforgettable party. He had a sense of being able to crack open a beer and kickstart the festivities, especially with me. We went like 3.5 hours one night, doing really not a whole lot, but
sounds like every Friday.
Yeah, it was a good time. And he'd stay up too. It didn't matter how late it was, he'd stay up with me as long as I was live. And he would be like, let the good times roll. So his laughter became the soundtrack to a lot of countless celebrations, late night celebrations. And I'll remember him for that always. So where's my drink? I think I left my drink over there. But I was going to do a quick here's to Joe. The maestro of mishaps.
Oh, nice.
And he's a great guy. And cheers to you, Joe. I know you're out there watching. I know you're out there watching me.
Don't tell you guys doing close. Have bottled water. You can have it close with water. Get the element.
Who said it was water? Yours is water?
Mine's water.
Could be vodka.
And Jonathan from Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks just dropped in.
How you doing, Molly?
I keep telling you, somebody sent me a really great article about grief, and it's so true. It's like an ocean. And the article said about how the tide comes in, the tide comes out, the waves go in. I would like to add to that there'll be a moment where you're standing in the water and you feel great and you decide to float back. You're like, oh, this is great. And then you open your eyes and the rip tide has come in, and all of a sudden you're like way out in the ocean. And you didn't realize you're going to be out there because you really felt great. But now that you're not near the coast, you feel a little scared and frightened. And it's almost like that. It really is like the current and the tide and the waves. And sometimes you'll be like, oh, I feel really good. But the other day, I made a vow. I am never going to get the mail and bring it in and open it up. And you know, I can see the difference between a card that somebody has sent and those I don't read in the middle of my. I went back to work on Monday, and so I know I'm not gonna read those in the middle of the work day. That'd be stupid. I'll be like bawling for hours because Hallmark cards do their job. And I went out and I got this. I work for the University of Rochester, for those of you who don't know. And there was a piece of correspondence from the University of Rochester and I was like, hey, what's this? And I open up. And it wasn't cold or callous. I'm not slamming the University of Rochester. It was a form letter to let me know. And I read it in the middle of the day. It was like, Mrs. Snyder, we are sorry for your loss of your spouse. Mr. Snyder will not be on the health insurance as of such and say. Mr. Snyder will not be on dental. Mr. Snyder will not be on. It kept saying Mr. Snyder, Mr. Snyder, Mr. Snyder. And I had never in my entire life heard him referred to as Mr. Snyder unless we were at like some formal, place where you had to do a reservation. Mr. Snyder, your reservation is ready. I mean, I never heard Joseph referred to in such a formal way. And it hit me hard. It hit me really hard. I mean, it hit me hard. Didn't hit me. It was so hard because now I'm saving about $1,200 out of my paycheck. That was a joke. That's a joke, people.
Yes. Good humor. Good humor. Yeah.
It's gallows. I have a lot of gallows humor in that, and then like, oh, I'm saving how much being single now? I'd rather have him here for the entire money in the world. Let's just make that clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
The letter was so Mr. Snyder, and I just lost it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day, I'm a project manager by trade, and I have to. My whole thing is hosting meetings. Like I host meetings. I'm like, hello everybody, what's your status? Da, da, da. And people are like, okay. Fortunately, in my organization, we don't do a lot of camera time.
Okay.
So we do a lot of Zoom audio calls.
All right.
And so I go, okay, how's everybody doing? And then I meet myself and I'd be like,
oh my heart.
It's like trying to work through the day.
Yeah.
Now the place that I work for is awesome. That if I ever had that moment where I'm like, I can't. My boss has told me, Colin's sick. You're good.
Fair enough.
And I haven't done that yet, but there's been days when I've been like really close.
Yeah.
Really close.
Yeah.
Very understandable.
Because Joseph was so beyond this world. You know what I mean? So big. And his personality was so big and he was so kind. And yet, I will have to say the upside that I haven't posted to Facebook, but I've thought about it, is that my kitchen has never been cleaner. I walk in that kitchen, I'm like, holy shit. The kitchen, it's so easy to clean for a person of one.
Yeah.
But
and you get the light bulbs.
Right. I would rather have a messy kitchen and have him back.
Yeah, amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
For sure. So I'm gonna
How you doing,
between. I'm gonna read because this one's
I'm doing
this
good.
one's
How
great.
you doing, Mike, Matt, Leon, Nikki?
Hey.
Just want to say hey.
Pine Island says I had
That
him
was
on
beautiful.
until 4
That
times.
was beautiful, Molly.
Each time I made sure to tell him there was no swearing on the channel. All 4 times he dropped the F-bomb.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
he
he
couldn't
does.
help himself. He couldn't help himself. I tell him so many times. I'd be like, "How you doing?" He's like, "I'm fucking great." I'm like, "What? What's up with the F-bomb? What's up with the like? Are you good? Are you angry? You know, like I know I'm great. I just wanted you to know I'm really great." And I'm like, "Why the F-bomb?" Yeah, I would tell him that all the time. That's funny.
Jay Fritz says, I remember one show where Joe got drunk, sobered up, and got drunk again. He was gone so long.
The 8
I
hour
remember
stream.
that. Yeah, I
The
remember
8-hour show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that show. I went to bed like right at the beginning of that show, and I was saying to him, "We're coming to bed soon." He was like, "Yeah, in a couple hours." And I woke up. I came out, and I was like, "Are you okay? Have you been to bed? Have you been to bed yet?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll be there in a minute." I'm like, "Dude, it's been like 7 hours. Like, come to bed." Because where his office or his man cave is like, it's not next to our bedroom, but it's close enough that I can hear things. So I got to the point where I turned the TV up and like fall asleep. But you know, people, those of us who are married, if your spouse doesn't come to bed, you're like,
Yeah, right on.
like, why is nobody here? Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go check. Why are they dead? Did they hit their head in the tub? Like, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, it's one thing, Molly, I gotta say, anytime that we were out, you know, he made sure to FaceTime you, or you always called him. No matter where we were, he would stop dead in his tracks, get on that phone, and he was making sure that you and the dog were good and the house was good, you know, everywhere we went. And he always found the days to go out in the snow. It'd start 70 degrees and we'd still end up with snow wherever the hell we went. Didn't make a difference. And you let him take your car a couple of times, and I'm like, we're going off road, and what are we doing here? You know?
Oh yeah, okay. For those of you, I have an Infiniti QX60, which is an overpriced Nissan. I bought it because it was very a nice. It drives like a cloud. You sit in, and it's so smooth. It's, you know, it says it's an all-wheel drive, but it really is not meant for four-wheel drive.
That's the only part he heard.
Right. He was like, all-wheel drive. Let's go. And I'm like,
we're good, Mike.
I mean, it's the first time I had like such a fancy pants car. Throughout my life, I always had like, you know, like used a Cabrio or used a Corolla, or, you know, and this is the first time I really kind of splurged on a car, and I got in it, and the car dealership was like, do you want to buy this car? I'm like, well, I hate to be that woman, because really the finances are me, but I would really like my husband's input. Like, normally I don't give a shit about my husband's input, but on this one, I just wanted somebody to back me up that I was making the right choice. Because an Infiniti is a luxury car. It's a big expense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wanted somebody else to tell me, like, no, this is a great ride. Or, no, this is a shitty. No, Molly, no, too much. That's not that great. So I remember Joseph and I went to the dealership in Canandaigua, and I said to him, I just want you to sit in the car. Just get in the car. And we had just test driven a Buick, I think Enclave, and the doors were kind of thin, and it was, I think it was 4-cylinder. So when you hit the gas, it wasn't kind of,
didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we go up to the Canandaigua dealership, and we're like, just get in the Infiniti. And the car dealership was like, she's got her husband in the car.
Blood in the water.
Right. And he gets in, shuts the door, and we start the car up, and I'm in the passenger seat, the salesman's in the back, and I was like, I really love this car. And he goes, all right, Molly. Starts it up, puts it in drive. We get to that, and where the car dealership is, where most car dealerships are, they're on a main road where you have to kind of punch it Judy to get out of the traffic. And he hit the gas, and it was like whoosh. And then he just sat there, and I looked at him, and he went, wow.
Nice.
And I was like, we should get this car, right? And he's like, yeah, we should get this car. And it was just so fantastic.
That's
But what
cool.
I didn't realize, in the back of his head, he was thinking, this is a really big SUV, and I can fit a lot of camping gear into this car. And actually, when I had to take it to the mechanic, and I got it back, and I was trying to clean it out. It's very emotional. I found a Ziploc bag full of white powder. I don't think it's cocaine. I'm pretty sure it's something to make a cast.
Sure. Plaster of Paris.
And I was like, what is this doing in my car? I also found a bunch of colored rocks. I found colored rocks. I also found a bag of treats, which had to be really old. I don't know. But I mean, I found these really random things in the back of my car because I think he had his Jeep, but my SUV is a lot bigger. And he started like putting things in there. Oh, I also found
camper.
I mean, I was like, I found all these things in this car when I got it back from the mechanic, and I was just like, what is this? Because I work from home, so I don't drive the car a lot.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I need a moment. Go ahead.
Hey, he was enjoying it. He was enjoying it. He was doing what guys do. We mean well.
Yeah.
We were gonna get it. We'll clean it up later.
Right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I was gonna do it yesterday, but
right.
He just didn't want to put the mileage on the Jeep, you know? I mean,
so true.
Jerry from the Buckwas Cruise in the house. He says he was the master of 40-minute monologues. I think that he sometimes forgot his audience were even there.
You didn't live with him. There would be times we'd be watching TV and they'd mention something. We'd be watching, the last couple weeks of his life, he got really into Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso has zero to do with Bigfoot. Zero. But something they would say would trigger him, and I'd have to pause Ted Lasso and I'd have to listen to 20 minutes of cryptids. And then at the end I go, what does it have to do with Ted Lasso? And he go, I don't remember, hit play.
That's cool.
Jeff says, I love how he'd do a show about anything on his mind. After having breakfast with Coles, Meldrum, and others, he did a show wondering if he can now refer to Meldrum as a colleague since he had coffee.
I remember.
Fuck yeah!
I remember talking about that. He was it was a while there. Who was it? Oh no, Matt, you were the one that was a little upset because Meldrum wouldn't get a hold of you when you were reaching out to him. Correct? So it wasn't Joe. CFB, Matt.
Matthew.
Matt, are you frozen?
What?
Oh.
It was you that was trying to get a hold of Meldrum, and you were a little deterred that he wouldn't get back to you, right?
I don't know who that is.
Copy that. Copy that. Yeah.
The reason why Joe used that thing for Meldrum is because that's what Todd Standing said. He could call John Bindernagel and Meldrum his colleagues. And so,
Right on.
So
yeah, I was getting the two mixed
now
up.
that I've had coffee with him, I can call him my colleague.
There's the brute. Look at him.
Yeah, that was a good weekend though. We broke some cheese that weekend and chilled out. So
that's cool, Mike.
You did what? You
broke up some cheese. Meldrum had some really good Cuba cheese from down our way, and
just making sure.
Sat on not broke the cheese. Yeah,
your words, not mine.
Yeah. I know you're tired, Mike.
I've been traveling all day, you know.
Hey, Jonathan, the
Yes,
big I don't know if I'm freezing. I'm getting a spinning a lot. So if I'm freezing,
well,
I apologize.
Go out and then
regarding
come
the
back
statement
in.
you just brought up about
you just froze.
You just froze again.
It's me freezing?
Yeah, it's you.
Yes.
Well, I think it's the internet down here in Florida because I keep getting you guys and losing you guys.
Florida. Say no more.
Florida. Oh my God.
So I have to one of the jokes that Joseph and I had, because you all have to remember that I would listen to his Bigfoot cryptid things, and I'd listen, and then I go, nah, whatever. But I did go to Ohio. What is the it's a conference in Ohio. Oh God, I can't
Ohio
remember.
Bigfoot conference.
Yes, and Meldrum was there. You have to remember that I used to love to tease Joseph because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So whenever he'd say Meldrum, I would say Mulgrum, because Kate Mulgrew was the captain of the voyage. Well, she was the actress.
Right. I was going to enlarge those.
And so Joseph was like, "Oh, Meldrum this, and I was like, so does Mulgrew agree with you?" And he would get so mad at me for not getting Jeff Muldrum's name correctly that at some point I couldn't remember his real name. Like, and I would try to say Meldrum. Oh fuck! I did it again. I would try to remember his actual name to have a conversation with Joseph that wouldn't make him angry at me. But I'd come out and I'd be like, "So, would Meldrum agree with you?" And he'd be like, "It's not Meldrum. It's not Meldrum. Why can't you say his name correctly? It's disrespectful." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, I said it wrong. Oh, I didn't mean to say it wrong.
Good stuff. There he is. Yeah. Lyle Blackburn.
And Lyle.
There's Jeff Melbrum.
Melgrum. He'll always be Melgrum now.
Oh.
He's doing better now, isn't he? He went through some health issues.
Yeah, what happened with him? Because it was like around the same time as Joseph.
He fell. I don't know the details, so if somebody else does, I think he was on a cruise ship and he fell ill of some sort.
Holy shitballs!
Taken to a hospital, and it was serious, but I do believe he's recovered fine.
Oh, that's good news. That's good news.
I don't know the deep details though, so hopefully
it had nothing to do with me calling him Mulgrew.
It may have been. He might have been watching a video on his phone and getting seasick, heard what you said, and just lost it.
So this picture is pre-Molly, Joseph.
Holy cow!
One time I saw this picture, I was like, "Did you not own a brush?"
He hadn't been home yet that night.
Right.
Yeah.
He had some great stories. I think one of them that has nothing to do with Bigfoot. Indulge me for a minute. After he left the Navy, and when I say left the Navy, he was in the Navy for almost 8 years, and there was an altercation between his commanding officer and himself. He went to Leavenworth. Apparently after that, there was an agreement that the Navy, because everyone's like, well, your husband's a veteran, can you get veterans benefits? Apparently after that, there was an agreement that the Navy said, we'll pretend we don't know you if you pretend you don't know us. And Joseph is like, we're good. So that's why I have
worked out good for him.
We had no veteran benefits. He got out of Leavenworth early. But he went traveling. And this is something that's always so fascinating with me is he just decided to and this is like early 80s, to just thumb it. He just thumbed it. And he'd get rides with semis, usually truckers, and they'd take him to some town, let him off, and he'd go out and hi, I need a job. I couldn't even imagine doing that, but he would just do it. And he came across this gay bar. It was actually a bar it was a gay bar, but they had drag queen shows.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked in, he was like, hey, I'm new to town, I need a job. And they were like, you're in luck. The drag queens do shows around this area and they need an escort. Are you willing to escort drag queens around the country or around the county? And Joseph is not he didn't care. That Joseph didn't care about your sexuality or your gender identity or whatever. He was like, how much money is involved?
There you go.
And they were like, oh, you get paid $100 a night. He was like, I'm in. So he would actually, during off nights, take these drag queens to shows, various venues outside of with a regular club. And that went on for a couple months. And then at one point, and I don't know the details behind this, but at some point, he and a drag queen had a problem.
I was going to say, how long can you stomach that?
Yeah, he was fine with all that. He didn't care. No, he didn't care. Apparently, one of them had an attitude, and one of them was cheap, and one of them kept being ripping him off on the money that he was owed. And oh God, he's dead. Doesn't matter. He can't be arrested. He dropped them off at a show, and he stole their car and drove 2 states over and started working someplace else.
Oh my God.
He was like, they owe me the car.
He had it coming.
He had it come. I think they were in Alabama, and he drove to Texas and started and then he said, eventually I couldn't do the upkeep of the car, so I abandoned the car someplace in Texas, and I thumbed it and moved on. It was just it was the craziest story. And you have to remember, I grew up in Northern Virginia, middle class, upper middle class, middle class.
Yeah.
We go to high school, we go to college, we get married. We do all these things. So when I met him, he didn't even tell me that story when I first met him. I think we'd been married for 5 years before he told me. It was just you stole a drag queen's car and drove to another state? What the fuck is wrong with you? And he was like, listen, you don't know. She deserved it. I was like, I don't even know what to say about. I just have no idea what to say about that. But if you, because I trusted him, I'm like, so you did the right thing? And he was like, oh, I totally did the right thing. She deserved every moment of that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother did some crazy stuff like that. He went out on the road selling vacuum cleaners and
oh my God,
and ran all over the country and just went wild in his younger days for a little while.
I wish I had the balls to do that life, right? middle class America, where my mom told me you're going to college, and I went to college. Like,
right on. I put a tool belt on at a very young age. Was dying to be a drywaller. Fell in love with Kelly at a very young age. Got married, kids, run drywall company. Just I never went through that period when I was younger where I let loose and got crazy and
I mean, I went crazy in my own ways, but like he went full balls to the wall. Like, I'm out of here. I have nothing to do crazy. Like you and I had a similar, like, I got to do this. I got to do this. This is what I got to do. He was like, screw that. Yeah. I'm going out. Yeah. It's admirable. I wish I could have done it.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys and gals that, they hit that age when they're a young adult and they just want to go out and be free. It's not abnormal. Yeah.
No. I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to imply it's abnormal.
Yeah. No. And maybe that was bad wording on my part. I didn't think you were.
That's all right. That's all right.
Maybe I should have, because it wasn't until I was 31 until I took a left turn in life and for really bad years.
I want to know Leon at 20.
No, you don't. I'm a conservative evangelical fanatic.
You were not.
Yeah. I was just heading in for, I think, my first pastoral degree.
Well, amen to that.
Wait a second, no, that when I'm 20?
Yeah, I wanted to know you at 20.
Okay, when I was 20, that was a little different. Yeah, I had a really dark spell, thus my becoming very conservative.
I think I just got out of the I'd been in there for a while, but
to give you an idea how dark it was when I went to my first religious, I can't remember what they're called because my brain's farting right now, seminary. The president of the cemetery, yeah, might as well, but seminary brought me into his office and he sat me down and I just thought, I'm kicked out. And he looked at me and says, Mr. Thompson. First time I heard myself name Mr. Thompson.
That's my dad.
Yeah. And he said, just want to let you know that before you came to our institute, we had people phoning us, telling us, don't let him in, because if you do, he will destroy your institute. Those were his life. I am fucked. I am gone. I'm out of here. However, he said, I want to let you know they were all wrong. You're a pillar for our institute. And I thought, oh my God, maybe there's no yet.
They thought you were a pillar?
Yeah, not a predator. Usually,
sorry, my bad.
Hey, welcome on board. I'll strike that one. That's kind of mean, but yeah.
So I would like to explain the Superman thing. Everybody,
I'd like you to also notice what he's doing right there.
Yes,
it's like he's talking to the good Lord. Or Molly's up on the table. Are you on the table, Molly?
I don't know what he's doing there. That was our house in Fort Earl. I don't know what he's doing there. Maybe he's flexing his muscles. So the whole Superman thing came because when we were living in Front Royal, he left his job he was installing luxury elevators, which is actually a thing. It's a thing. So when you live in a brownstone in Georgetown in DC and your garage is on the ground floor and your kitchen's on the top floor and you don't want to take your groceries from the ground floor to the top floor, the old fashioned way, they would install elevators. And also he also did, like, if you're elderly and you needed that, if you remember the Gremlins.
The cars?
You remember the Gremlins when the lady had the chair that would ride up? Yeah, he installed those as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Like the wheelchairs that go up the stairs, that get powered up the stairs. Yeah, right on.
Or on the rail.
So he was doing that and he hated it. He didn't like it at all. I mean, he didn't hate it, but he was like, oh, it's not great.
Yeah,
a friend of ours, Jimmy Cerrito, from Jimmy's Old Town Tavern, Herndon, which is where we met and got married. You know, we didn't get married, but that's where we met. And he was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." And Jimmy was like, "I need a doorman. Like, I need somebody to control the crowd. I need somebody who's even keeled, right? Even keeled, not going to be emotional, going to be able to survey the crowd." Now, you have to remember Joseph's background. He was an armed security guard at the Saudi Arabia, the Islamic Saudi Academy. He was in the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL. I mean, he had these skills that would allow him to, look at a crowd and figure everything out. And Jimmy said, "Do you want to be my doorman?" And Joseph was like, "Yeah, I want to be your doorman." Cool. So Joseph started working out, like the moment he got the job at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern, he started working out. And he decided he wanted to be Superman. Not literally, just like he wanted. He didn't want to fly. He didn't want to. He just decided like he was gonna build his body up and do all that. And so Superman, and look at his body there. Look at that. He was ripped. Yeah. And he was so ripped. Yeah, look at that. He was so ripped. Like he came. Like one time, I was like, "Should we go to the gym together?" And we started to go to the gym together, and we try to work out. But because I'm not like a big workout kind of girl, I'm more cerebral. We get to the gym, and I'd start to like lift weights, and he'd be like, "Come on, lift those weights," and I was like, 1, 2, and he was like, "You can do more, you can do more," and he'd gotten so buff. He got this Superman tattoo on his arm.
That's cool.
Oh my God. I don't have that picture on the left. Like, I literally don't have that picture at all. Where did you get that picture?
From his Facebook. It's on your post, his, one of the albums he has there.
The one on the right, I know. The one on the left, I don't even know.
That might be Photoshop. He loves photoshopping his face onto things. See there. That's another one.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the Superman thing comes from.
And you loved every minute of it.
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern always associates Joseph with Superman because he was so buff, and he was such a great doorman. And I wish we had Jimmy on because he'd tell you that he always trusted Jimmy with the door of his bar because Joseph would come in and diffuse a situation before it became a situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's like some Patrick Swayze stuff.
Yeah.
What was that? Roadhouse, right? Wasn't Patrick Swayze supposed to be like the main?
Well, he made a good Superman. Look at that Superman there. He made.
I mean, that was when he was at his buffest.
It's probably when he talked the highest too, by the height of his glowing area. Superman, do not mess with me.
That's cool.
Oh, that picture. That's pre-Molly. That's a pre-Molly picture. I love that picture because when he and I met, he was really being into the clans of Scotland. And the clans of Scotland are a big Scottish group, and they go to festivals and all this. Now, when we went to get married, I was sitting in a random restaurant in Northern Virginia, and I said, "Well, my husband is really into the clan. And so I really want to make sure that the clan is a part of our." Now, my friend knew what I meant by the clan. So it wasn't like clan with a K. Like she knew, but I didn't really kind of realize who was sitting around me. And I was like, so my husband's really into clan. And so I really want to incorporate the clan into our wedding. And I want to make sure that we have our ceremony accordance with the clan.
Did anybody clear out?
And my friend was like, Clarence is going. Clarence is going. She's saying Clarence in Scotland. It's not Clarence with a K. It's just Clarence with a C. Like, Molly, you need to stop saying that shit. I did. I had a lot of people just looking at me like in horror.
Like now with this picture. I remember when you got that.
Oh, the crown of dicks. Oh, the crown. Oh.
Oh my God. I couldn't figure out what that was.
It's wait. Hold on. I got it. Here it is. I have it right here.
Oh jeez.
The crown of dicks. When he asked me to go to dispensary to get him another vape to help with his pain relief. He was like, I need to go there, and I'm not a pot smoker, THC, and no judgment. I'm fine with it. I'm just not. I don't know what to do when you go in. So I walked into the place and I turned to the right, and I swear there's a mannequin wearing this. And I looked and I was like, fuck, that's what I want. Oh, wait, I'm also here because I'm gonna need, and I pulled out a sheet of paper. It's like, I'm gonna need this and this and this. Apparently I want a hybrid, and I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but I read it off a piece of paper, and then he was like, okay, I got that, I got that, and I said, and I'm gonna want the crown of dicks. He was like, you want the crown of, I want the crown of dicks. Like, I don't care what I do in this lifetime. If I don't own a crown of dicks, I have not lived.
Oh man!
And now you indeed have live on.
And now I can go
on the internet for eternity. Back in 2023. That video, remember that? It's like 50 years ago. She had those dicks on her head. It
was a Sasquatch penis girl.
Almost as good as when I gave him the banana in the hospital.
Hey, Nikki, before I forget, you should put his YouTube channel in chat, because I used to follow Joe, and he kept changing his name so much.
Oh my God!
I lost track of where he was.
He did there.
So did I.
I think I'm missing the whole last year.
So did I.
I didn't know who he was signed in on.
I'm going through his clothes, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what should I wash? What should I give away to charity? What should I throw away? And I came across this Bigfoot shirt, and I was like, whiny bro. Was that the first one or the last one? No, that was the first one. And I put it in a drawer, and then I came across a whiny big. Wait a minute.
That's right, Bigfoot organization. Yeah.
Do I? Which one should I be more attached to? The one that I don't. Okay, I'll just keep this one too. And then at the end it was like hominin necks, and I was like, but there's no shirts for that.
Wasn't there one just before that?
There was.
It was.
I don't know what it is.
Hominin X.
I was searching them. I could never.
Bigfoot atheist. Yep. Then
right.
And as a brand manager, that stuff drives me nuts, because that's the last thing you want to do is confuse your audience.
Yes. And I kept telling him that because I'm in IT, I'm not in marketing, but I kept telling him, and I was like, dude, just pick one. and when he first came out, I think it was whiny bro. It was whiny bro.
Whiny bro was the first one. Yeah.
And he ordered these t-shirts. And the t-shirts came. He goes, I got a t-shirt. And I looked at it and I said, Western Bigfoot in misspelled research.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. That sounds like something I'd do.
Organization. And he was like, what do you mean? Organization. And I'm like, you
shouldn't have
spelled
told
it.
Just let him wear it.
Yeah.
And I said, next time you design a shirt, I'm just going to ask you to let me edit it. Like it was R-E-S. It was like, it was R-E-S-R-C-H. Like
Is it
there was
red
like,
with yellow letters? Is the shirt red with yellow letters?
Yeah.
Oh man, Nikki, can I go to my files without messing myself up on your show here?
Yeah, you should be able to just open up
All
a different. Yeah.
All right, let me see what I think I have that.
It was when it came to the house, I was like,
Oh,
he's
whoops.
like, look at this,
That's not
this
it.
is great.
Still there.
And I was like, Western New York, meh.
Yeah,
And he was like, what do you mean, meh?
His acronyms were as long as his
S-E-A-R.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
I kept saying to him, Joe, just make it simple.
Where did I
Bigfoot
go?
Okanagan, Bigfoot, BF, best friend, Bigfoot.
I kept telling him the same thing. Oh my God, it's hilarious. But he was so stubborn.
I know.
You have to earn it. He was so stubborn.
Yeah, funny way. Yeah.
You give him a suggestion, and if it went against what was in his head, no, you're out. You're dumb. You're out. You don't understand. That's just, you don't understand my vision. And I was like, apparently not.
Well, maybe he's getting, because culturally we're going through that whole can't even do the acronym for the gay community anymore. You know how long it kept getting? First it was just then it got bigger. It's like it's every letter of the alphabet.
Right. No, I do LGBTQ plus, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like if there's others after that, I'm sorry I've missed you.
Yeah, I don't want to get. I'm not being political here, so we don't get.
Nope, I'm sorry.
Molly, do you have the SD cards from when he and I did the event in Caledonia, where I just recorded Joe? Because these guys might want to.
I'll be right back.
Permission might want to see him really get in and talking about that experience.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go into the man cave, which is. I have designated the man cave because it's so messy. To when I hit the anger stage of grief.
I completely understand.
So I can just, you fucking left a mess. like I'm not there yet, so I'll find it.
Somewhere on his Facebook page, he's got one of you and him, Mike, doing a talk.
Yeah, I just didn't for you guys. Just he really went into the Ross experience for him, and I feel so honored that he took me down to that location and got to experience that with him. And
it's a good segue because on June, hold on, I've already booked it. I got a bagpiper because he and I got married in a Scottish wedding. So for me, having kind of a bagpiper at his memorial event was very important to me. So I have booked, God, now I just screwed up my calendar. Hold on. June 15th. So right now, everybody write down June 15th. I'm going to put a Facebook event out there. June 15th at Palmer's Pond in New York, we will have his remembrance. And Mike, I hope you can make it because I don't know where he saw Bigfoot. You're the only one who knows. And that's where he wanted his ashes spread. So on June 15th, I have a bagpiper who's going to come down, play some bagpipes. We're going to spread Joseph's ashes where he saw Bigfoot. And Mike, I hope you can make it. I hope everyone can make it. I hope everyone can.
Absolutely.
It's in my calendar. I will be there. I promised you.
Thank you.
I promised him that I would be there.
Yes. Yes.
And we will. Paul and I went up there when I got back after my mom passed, and we went right down there, say prayers to him, and get in there. So I know where it is.
Across where we're spreading his ashes, there's a camping spot. I will be camped there that night, and it's a fairly large camping spot that can fit a bunch of tents. And I hope people will come and they will hang out. We'll have a good time in honor of Joseph, and we'll camp. And the next day we'll go and spread his ashes. So I will get there. I'm going to get there on like Wednesday to secure the spot. And it could probably, it could fit a bunch of, I don't know how many tents, but we could cram it all in. Or we can all pile on top of each other. But I'm hoping that we can all be there for that.
It's June, so we'll get a freak snowstorm because we got snowed on the last time. We had all the hammocks out there. That was one of those times that he used your car to go off-roading.
Yeah.
You see that, Nick? But I think that's check. I just Facebook Messenger. Yeah, that word.
That's a nerd.
Yeah, did. But that's why they don't make me in charge of talking much.
Amen.
It's a picture. There it is. But that's spelled correctly, right? That's the red shirt.
It's a red shirt. Yes.
Yeah. New York Bigfoot Research.
Yeah, there was one where it was like it was during the whiny bro phase.
Yeah, that one's correct. That's spelled proper.
And he came to me. He was like, "I've created this Bigfoot thing, and it's the Western New York Bigfoot Research Organization." And I was like, "Wait a minute. So your acronym is whiny bro?" And he was like, "Nobody's gonna think that, Molly. Why would you even go there?" And I was like, "Never mind. You're right. No, I'm wrong. You're right. Nobody would ever shorten your name. Never mind. I'm going over here."
Jay Friss asks Molly how Joe first told you about his encounter. How did Joe first tell you?
It didn't happen right away. So how it happened was, and he's talked about this before. We went camping in George Washington National Forest in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, and I don't even believe him. So anyway, we had some Hawaiian, the Hawaiian rolls. Who's the maker? Hawaii, whatever. Hawaiian rolls.
King's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
King's Hawaiian. And we had them in a tote. And we went to bed. And we came out the next morning and I was like, wow, I'd really like a egg sandwich on a King's Hawaiian roll, right? And we went in and they were all gone. The package was still there, but they were all gone. And I was like, did you wake up last night and eat a bunch of rolls? He's like, I didn't. And so years later, he said, Molly, I think you have to accept that something ate our Hawaiian rolls. And I was like, well, I've accepted that you ate our Hawaiian rolls. He was like, no, I didn't eat them. And he swore up and down, which makes me believe him. So then he told me, sit down. Here's the deal. So years ago, and he told me the whole story. And at the end of it, I was like, dude, you ate those Hawaiian rolls. I don't know what story you're telling me. I mean, I believe that remember, this is my famous quote. It drove him crazy. I believe that you believe that you saw something.
That's classic.
Yeah.
That is classic.
But it didn't make our Hawaiian rolls go away. So.
But you know what I found so unique about his encounter was, to date, I have not seen a sketch that looked so unique, so unbelievable, but believable, of an honest depiction that's probably as close to his photograph as you can get. Everything else I've seen seems to be a copy of a copy of a copy of someone else's image in their mind. And this thing, when I saw it, that's the first thing that caught me with Joe. I went, whoa, wait. This guy's seen something.
Yeah.
Because that's so outside the box.
Agreed.
Anybody tell me if they've seen anything like that drawn by anybody. And I have.
In the process of
very unique
drawing that.
You did it, right, Jen? Yeah.
Jen did, yeah.
Yeah.
In the process of doing it, like, I don't know how many, I'd do a little bit of sketch and I'd send it to him. He'd be like, no, not that, like this. Then he sent me a picture of a Neanderthal skull. He's like, see how the brow ridge is on this? More like that. So then I had to went back and forth till we got we got that one. And then when I went back and I redid it for him, because he's like, his skin was real dark and his hair was black. So I went back and I did the one with the pastels, which is the one that he was using for his icon for a while. But
that image just blows me away. It's the closest thing to what I envision in reality, because I hear a lot of people describing the flat, long mouth and the nose, and then when I hear I hear people describe the nose, and they describe it as so human-like, but then they draw me a flat nose, and that doesn't look human. You know what I mean? It looks like an ape. And this one, when I hear people say it looks so human, I couldn't shoot it, or all those things you've heard.
Yeah.
This is the image to me that quantifies what I think people must be seeing, that is just so startling. Because I've seen so much of the Patty stuff now that it just every encounter, everybody draws the same Patty face at a different angle. This is not, and that's what makes me think that this is so unique. And And to follow up on that, there's a trail cam picture from about 45 minutes from that location, and I got to see that trail cam photo when it was first taken. And when you look at the brow ridge on that, and I showed it to Joe when we were at that location, and I had a research biologist with me when we went up there, and to watch his reaction on site. And I've dealt with a lot of victims over the years of my career and seen a lot of folks that have seen a lot of tragic events. His big boy had a hard time out there explaining, and in the middle of the woods. I mean, I think he felt a little safer because I, was armed out there, but we went back. It took us a lot, and I fed him a lot of gummy bears, like not the adult gummy bears, the kids gummy bears. And, we got snowed on and had a lot of pizza, and we tried to laugh as much as we could. But the traumatic experience for, folks like you, Leon, that do all the analyzation and stuff that I've seen. I mean, he saw something in that woods, and to look at that structure and everything was there. And, the other guy that's got that photo was the other Western New York Bigfoot dude. And we were so close to getting both of them out in the woods to talk about, and his experience is exactly what he saw in Chautauqua County, which is 2 counties over.
Oh, Ryan Redding?
Yeah. And I had the two of them talking at the end, and the descriptions they both give is what John drew. And
that's amazing.
that gives me another, run on it. He saw something, and like I said, my buddy Paul was with us, and
yeah, I was just
we
going to say that.
Still say it's.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Len. I support the man 100%, and like I said, I will take you out anytime, and we will go.
Yeah, I was just going to add a bit with what we're talking about. Remember the testimonies that come in and says, I couldn't shoot it because it was too human looking. That looked too human looking. Mm-hmm. Patty doesn't look too human looking.
Right.
Gorilla looking.
Right.
Right. There's a difference there, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Joe's always been consistent with doing everything that somebody who wasn't trying to create a Bigfoot story, because of his example here, it's not like anything we've ever seen before.
Mm-mm.
And that's what you would draw, something you've never seen before. And you guys,
right.
I've asked him numerous times, because he's into the whole, humanoid tree, where I said, where does it sit on the tree? I don't know. It's somewhere between this and that. I don't know. It's so different. And that's what you're looking for, not over much certainty, especially if you're looking at something that you've never seen before. Why would you have certainty in your articulation of description of what you're saying? Whereas he's just, and again, I always love when he goes, whoa, big boy. I ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Every time, exactly the same. Body up, our hands up, body motion backwards. That's just total telling you what he's looking at. He didn't even know what he's looking at, but that's the reaction for sure of somebody who saw it.
It took us a lot to get back to that location. We had hit a lot of other areas, and I'm going to throw one funny night out. He's facing me. We got a little fire going and, sitting around eating some junk food. And he looks over my shoulder and he's like, I see red eye shine. And I go, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, there's no red eye shine. And I turn over my shoulder. There's red eye shine over my shoulder. So I grab my thermal camera and I turn, and I got a heat signature halfway up a tree, and it's about the same level. Now there's three of us standing there going, we got red eye shine, and we're getting blips, and we're like, we're moving, it's moving. And he's like, I know it's really there. And he's got his night vision. I got my thermal, and I'm going, there is absolutely no way we've got a Bigfoot out in this woods. Finally, we realized after we pulled the maps up, there was a tower behind us. And there was a raccoon halfway down the tree, but the light was just above the raccoon. So, Matt, it's almost like our trees down in Florida a couple of years ago, where the tree's moving with the raccoon on it. So it's giving us the heat signature with that red light just blinking at us for we're a bunch of idiots. We'll sit back down, have a cigarette, and we're not going to talk the rest of But it was stuff like, that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm sorry. It's just stuff like that, the craziness, or tying tablecloths to them, plastic tablecloths to pick up hair, and watching him run through the woods with pink tablecloths tied to his back, just the goofy stuff we did to him out there, But we collected a lot of hair that way. So
that's good. That's good. Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
Did you use like gray canvas to draw that on, or did you do a solid gray background as your base color? Like I noticed that.
No, I started. They all were started on a big white tablet.
Okay.
I just kind of braided out a little bit in the back for some of them. Mm-hmm. Like this second one, that's Rasta 2. That's the one I did with the pastels.
That in itself has different characteristics, but like that's amazing. I mean, you do a fantastic job based off a description that is being told to you, aside of the fact that symmetrically, like you got talent, Jen. You do really good job.
I when we went to visit, I brought the tablet. I'm like, you want me to bring the originals? He's like, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So I brought them, and he's flipping through them, and he just ran his hands down them, and he's like, look at this. This is what I saw. This is him. And he's touching them and stuff, and made the whole trip worth it. Just to see him light up.
That's the next question I was going to ask you. Were you there when he actually saw it? Because that's very
yeah. Because Trackway, finding the Trackway, and I drove out to visit Joe.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so it's just recent, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys spent a good amount of time out there working the field and came over.
Yeah,
to the
we went
festival.
we went over to Palmer's Pond.
Yeah.
The first night and then last night.
Yeah. You know, when you guys speak of Palmer's Pond, and I remember the first time I heard it, and I was thinking, you were right over here in Chestertown? Like, you guys are like 8-9 miles away from where I run around in the woods, but it's a different Palmer's Pond. It's gotta be. If it's way over, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, the Palmer Pond
near West Almond, near Hornell. Yeah.
Moreover, up, Route 28, between Route 28. Well, it's actually off of Route 8 between Weavertown and Brant Lake. It's in between those two towns. It's over here on the eastern side of New York, just at the southern end of the Adirondacks. So
but
it's called Palmer's Pond.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
And Nikki, you know the shirt I brought to Washington, the Bigfoot shirt.
Yeah,
I brought that because Joe loved it, so I gave it to him. I gave it to him, and he's like, "Oh, this is so cool." I'm like, "This shirt has been squatching with Brent. This shirt has been squatching with with Thomas. This shirt has been out with Papa. This shirt's been out with Nikki. This shirt's been here. This person, that person." He was just. I'm like, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
You need everybody to sign it, Jen.
I should have. But I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it.
It's a good tradition to start,
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to say a couple things, and I do kind of need to get going because I know Nikki, you probably sent the links out to other people and let some other people jump on here. But the first thing I wanted to say was I always appreciated Joe's unwavering support of me and what I was doing, and the respect he gave me for trying to realize that I had other homework and learning skills to learn. And he always he had a way of encouraging you without saying, you're a real dummy for being out in the woods anyway, Matt, because you're a city boy. So I had a lot of catching up to do, and I appreciate the fact that he jokingly had the Florida bet going on too, that if anybody down here in Florida is going to get it, it's going to be me. So that will forever be with me. I've already mentioned the Bigfoot drawing. I think it's funny that his sign off, I could swear, and that's why I want to know, what is his channel? I've lost it. I'm not kidding. But he used to say, don't sweat the small stuff and don't touch the sweaty stuff, or something like that. And then about a year ago, he flipped it and he started doing sweaty. I went, it's not funny. You changed it. And he goes, no, I didn't. I've always said that. I went, no, you changed it. Someone needs to go back and watch the early ones.
Don't pet the sweaty stuff, and don't
pet the sweaty stuff.
Don't.
Yeah, it wasn't sweaty. I know for a fact. I'm just.
It wasn't.
Petty.
No.
Don't sweat the petty stuff, and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Yep.
Petty and sweaty.
Okay, I just knew it was different, but anyway.
He might have been intoxicated at one point.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not going to deny that.
The whole last 6 months, he just kept it.
I would like to hold my husband to a higher standard, but I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, on a Friday night, if you come on at an odd time, boy, I was like, oh yeah, he's loaded. He's been down the bonfire down the road for a couple.
Right.
And finally, I just wanted to say that when it comes to and I spoke to Joe, I think 3 times, maybe 4, during the last month. They're just talking, because I did do hospice work in my past. So, and I used to go to nursing homes and sit with people that didn't have family.
That's cool.
So I learned a lot and experienced a lot, and was just so impressed. Everyone I experienced and was with at at time of death, or they soon passed after I was seeing them. I'd never seen anyone so courageous. They all talked, and all the patients were always more concerned about their loved one than themselves. And Joe was no different with that. And you all saw it. I don't know if you know how unique that is, but for his perspective and what he provided us near the end, his little, I mean, damn, I even turned in, I made a note here, I even turned into his monologues of delivering food, for God's sakes. They were so good. And, you know, I'm like, what is he doing? He's driving down the road. And then he'd start this monologue delivering food. But it was just, you know, it was so damn good. And he just had such a spirit. And I've never seen anyone more courageous. And I've done a lot of this. I've seen and been with a lot of families. And, man, I got to tip my hat to him. I just hope I can be half as courageous as he is when you're facing something like that. And I'm going to miss the guy.
Yeah, it's one of a kind, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. Special dude, man.
Well, there was some good outtakes that Nikki could have got when he was living at home with her during the end. It was just, now that Molly's not poking around, it was just going. It was all great. Like, it was absolutely love. You know, I mean, when you can love somebody miserably and they can love you back miserably, and you both love each other. There's no more quality than that one, I'll tell you. But you're totally right. He only had one kind of rough moment, like very rough moment. But for most of it, at least when I was talking with him online, we just shot the shit just like we normally would be doing right now. Like, it's great. Like, I keep forgetting, and this is how weird it is. I keep seeing his picture below where Nikki puts it, and I keep thinking he's here with us. It's weird. Yeah. A couple of times that hit my brain. It's like, well, he's here. Joel jump in. I'm thinking, no, this is
yeah.
It's weird. He's a great guy. For sure.
Well, I wish I was up there to give you a big hug, Molly.
She's listening. She's having a little moment right now, and it's okay. We're going to let her do that. And while she's doing that, I'm going to read a little poem to you. So here we go. I haven't named this, so maybe some of you out there in the chat can give this poem a name. In the heart of the woods where shadows play lived a man named Joe in a wild array. With a twinkle in his eye and a spirit so free, he embarked on adventures seeking Bigfoot with glee. Through the thickets and underbrush he tread, with a flashlight in hand and a cap on his head. Bigfoot, oh Bigfoot, where do you roam? Joe would call out, turning the forest into his home. His gear was impressive, the envy of all, cameras and gadgets ready for the call. Yet in the midst of the quest, Joe never lost sight of the joy in the journey and the thrill of the night. One day in the forest, a twig snapped near. Joe's heart skipped a beat, a mix of hope and fear. But what did he find with joyous cheer? A Bigfoot named Rasta who just wanted a beer. Oh, Joe, the Bigfoot hunter, with humor so grand, he'd laughed at himself with a beer in his hand, tripped over a root and got lost in the trees. His antics and tales brought the greatest of ease. He'd regale us with stories by the campfire's glow of Bigfoot's laughter and their secret ho-ho. Bigfoot's a party animal, did you know? He loves a good shindig, and he's got quite the throw. So here's to Joe Snyder, the woods' merry guide, who sought Bigfoot with laughter, never letting it hide. In the wilderness and beyond, his spirit takes flight, forever searching for joy in the day and in the night.
Bravo.
Very nice.
Very, very good. There's got to be some animation and a spot for that every Christmas from here on forward.
From here on forward, I thought so too.
Who can do the animation? A little help with AI.
Yeah,
because
it would be a good one.
It really would. Very nice.
I thought about that now, but
nice.
I just didn't have time to do something like that. But I might get somebody professionally to do that.
That would
Beers
be
with
very
Bigfoot.
cool. It would be nice to see that every Christmas.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, it would. That was very good.
Bigfoot seaman. He was a Bigfoot seaman.
Hey, Nikki, thanks for having me on. I'm going to let somebody else jump on here. And
okay.
Great hanging with you, Matt.
Yeah, good seeing you guys. And Molly, I'm going to give you a call. So we'll talk soon, and maybe I can help Mike out a little bit with that. So we'll see. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Take care,
Matt.
Bless
Bye,
you.
Matt. Take care.
Yep.
So I am going.
Gone.
We lost her.
Yeah.
She's magic.
Oh.
She.
We got Matt. We lost Mike. How we got Mike back? We lost Nikki.
We lost Nikki.
Big hug to you.
She'll be back.
I'm coming.
Yeah,
I'm
she is.
coming.
There she is.
That was my fault. I hit the button.
It's my job to break things.
I know. I'm going to do this.
So, guys,
And-
I have to just say, I love everything. I love the outpouring. It's I need to drop off because it's too much.
It's okay. It's okay, Molly. We
I'm sorry.
understand.
I wanted to be here for everything, and I love that you're doing this. And please don't stop. Please go on for like the next 4 hours without me. Because he would go on for like the next 8 hours. I just want you to know that it's too much.
Yeah. No, you're perfectly fine. We have unfortunately Steve Coles couldn't make it tonight because he's sick. And he's even canceled his show tonight as well. So hoping that he gets better soon.
I can't down. I just
But
sorry,
go
he's
ahead, Molly. We
I'm
love
sorry.
you. We care about you. Each and every one of us are here for you whenever you need to get in touch with us.
Thank
You
you.
do that,
Thank
okay?
you. I wish I
And,
could stay on. I just can't. I'm sorry. You guys,
Okay.
we're really sorry.
No. We're going to be getting off of here in about 15, 20 minutes. So we love you. Have a good night, okay? And know that he's here. It's okay. He's in our hearts. And,
He loved you all, and everybody
we
here.
loved him. We loved him
I'm
too.
sorry. I gotta go. Sorry.
Okay. Goodbye, Molly. Have a good night. So I think I threw the link out in the chat. Anybody else would like to come on and say condolences or anything, you're welcome to do that right now. I'll put it one more time. And how about you, Jen? You have anything funny or anything?
Well, one night we're after one of the shows, we're just sitting talking, and we were and he disappeared. He walked away to go do something, and I couldn't hear him. And I'm like, "Hey, talk to me, Goose." And it became like a little running thing. Like I'd get a message out of nowhere, "Hey, talk to me, Goose." And it was funny. I just out of nowhere. Yesterday, I was doing something at work, and just like in the back of my head, so I heard, "Hey, talk to me, Goose." And I'm like,
oh.
But you know,
yeah.
So now that it's become a thing.
That's good.
Forever, it will be. And how about you, Mike? Anything else that comes to mind?
With everything going on, my mom and him both got diagnosed about the same time.
Oh, wow.
Last place I talked to her was at his house. And on the way down to take care of her, GPS took me out of the way, right down. Actually, Jen, you guys were at the house when I drove by. And I keep getting dragged back into that neighborhood. And more stuff that he brought up, I keep finding. And I keep thinking he's dropping those little hints. And I told him I will get her out in the woods, and I made that promise. So we're gonna get out there, you guys. We'll make sure that Molly gets to that spot.
That's
man,
awesome.
Always got me to laugh, and it's just so weird that we were so close and doing opposite things for so long. And I would pass his Jeep going back and forth, and it's weird to go grocery shopping now and not seeing his Jeep doing the runs.
Yeah.
And just to go out and, you know, have him, hey, what do you think about this? And a lot of those crazy ideas. He was in the field to try them out for the first time. Like I said, tying a tablecloth to him and my buddy Paul, shaving them through, and watch these two big guys with military experience with pink tablecloths behind him trying to pick up hair samples and just giggling the entire time, and then coming back and look what we found and all this hair, static electricity, bagging up, and what are we doing? And you know,
that's awesome.
And then him constantly picking on me for my gummy bears, and that's what I eat in the woods, that beef jerky, you know. But every time we went out, it snowed. I mean, literally, it would be a warm spring day and it would snow on us. And I don't know.
Always snow.
It's rough this time. And, you know, we're there. Yeah. I'm there for a while. So, and yeah, I mean, he brought all of us together between him, and he's pretty much how Matt found me, you know, so he connected a lot of us.
Yeah. And the last thing I ever thought I would be doing was a show. Yeah. Last night, like, I hopped on one night when he was doing some some story show. Out of nowhere, he's like, "Hey, you want to do a show?" I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, you do." We'll start it. I'm like, okay. And that was that. Cool. And 2 years later, a year and a half, whatever it was.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You know, I was going to stop doing public events, and I kept pushing him for some of the local stuff, so I wasn't involved. And I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this last one. And, you know, I just let him go. I mean, that footage of him telling things it's amazing to watch him just go and explain to everybody that night what he saw and how he did things, and watching the captive folks listen to him. And he did the same thing at Chautauqua. And again, never, ever wavered on that story. I mean, I'm going to keep going. Real or not, I'm going to keep going for him. I mean, that's the thing.
That's cool, Mike. I'm really sorry to hear about your mom, too. I'm really sorry.
I didn't mean to bring it. It was a weird, universal thing. Like, literally, I left his place the same direction, and it brought in GPS should have not, but it was like something. I don't know.
Right on.
Right.
And for years, I drove by his house and never knew where it was. Like, literally, he'd be out doing his runs, and it was like, you got to be kidding me. For 10 years, I've been driving by.
Wow.
Wow.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Huh. The universe puts this together, folks, for a reason.
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, good things, evolve out of bad situations all the time. So hopefully, you know, a lot of good things will be coming your way, Mike. And, you know.
Yeah. I wanted to get to Leon and say, you spent the last week, you know, with Joe, talking with Joe, and was there anything that you could share with us about, I don't know, his spirit, you know, how his spirits were?
Well, he was, the first thing that comes to mind is, if you kind of want to know this process of death, I'm going to segue for a little bit here, is watch Johnny Cash's Hurt video on YouTube. If you've never watched that movie or that video, watch that video. It pre-preps you for what's raw in life. And one thing with Joe, sorry, my brain's going to a couple different places right now. One thing with Joe, when I walked through it, because it was almost the whole time, because we were talking about maybe me coming out there, him coming out here, and then that news of it, of course, hit so strongly and fast. That was the weirdest part of the whole thing. That's the shocker. And so I just said to him, we want to get the other. I was trying to get him to play. Nikki, you're a games person, so you do the great video stuff. And I was thinking, well, he likes games, so I should keep him busy with doing games. But I like board games, like Battleship, like Battleship. These guys. I'm going to get him onto this kind of thing because I thought, we're going to be at least probably online on a regular basis. I thought might as well start a game with him and we could play over the next 6 months, kind of thing. Keep your brain out of where you're at, kind of thing. And but he was solid. He's the guy that when I teach, and when I'm teaching right now, I told you offline here before these guys came on, I won't share it, I'll share it afterwards, but what happened to me last week and what I came across, that's raw as raw can get. You guys won't follow me, but you'll understand a little later on. But and to have the honor, it's a hell of an honor to walk through somebody's last doorway, or whatever phrase you want to put on, whatever term. It's a hell of an honor. And you better remember that they honored you by allowing you to be their privileged in a way, that you're one of the ones who are close to them. And, sadness is part of life. Everyone's born, everyone dies. I've died 9 times. I got solid evidence I've died 9 times now for sure. But with Joe, that was I was waiting. And the thing for me is I have done similar things like Matt's done with people's passage. And I can tell almost immediately whether or not a person's going to be around for a while or not, because there's just a different look on them. And I, at the beginning, when I was right with him, I said, well, let's shoot for a year, let's see if we can get you up to your next birthday kind of thing. And let's get you past Christmas and all this kind of stuff. And then it went from a year to 6 months. But the guy he went out the way I will go out, right facing everything. So we would talk and he would tell me some raw shit about, I'm having a real fucking tough day. Today's a real tough one, Leon. And he's the one telling me this is a great thing about his personality. We're allowed to cry here, Leon. In this room, we're allowed to cry. I know this, of course, because it's what I normally do anyways. But I tell you, to see somebody else out there have it the same capacity, that's a rare gift. It's a rare gift to be able to be real, whether you believe what other people believe, because you guys know about, he's an atheist, which I don't care about. But to walk out of life the way he's walked out of life, staying true to everything about the process, him trying to wrestle with his life, because we all wonder, what happens to me after I die? Who isn't going to wonder that? But man, he was honorable for the whole time, Nikki. I don't know if that quite answers the question, but it was a hell of an honor, and what he gave me and imparted to me, which I can now impart to other people if I get more time in my life. He's going to go on and on and on. I quoted about him the other day. I think it was 3 days ago. This new documentary I'm working on with the local company here, or producer here. He's one of the ones I told him. I said, I'm not interested in being on another Bigfoot thing. Go online. You want a Bigfoot thing? Go online. I'm interested in the reality of the situation of what we're talking about. And then I quoted Joe. I said, there's only a few people. I could think of maybe 3. One for sure, which you'll say is Joe. The other 2 are pretty high up there as well. Don't get me wrong, in case you guys are watching. But for him, yeah, everything he's done, everything he said, everything he's talked about, I buy he saw something. And I think the discredit that happens with a lot of people is, imagine if you saw it and then you were dealing with the Bigfoot community and you were the one who saw it. You go through the same bullshit he went through.
Right.
How frustrating would that be?
Yeah.
All these people telling you the great ideas and it's not moving you forward at all. And you saw one of these fuckers, sorry, I'm sorry, I should be swearing.
No, you're fine, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do this normally. I get paid to swear. It's kind of weird, but anyways, but no, I think I think he's impacted, like you said, Mike, I don't think we quite realize how he has impacted us, which is a good thing, because if we could figure it out, we'd probably destroy it or wreck it out of us. But it's something about his personality. There's something about his style. There's something about his ability to talk to anybody. I love the stories when he would talk about, yo, a little kid came up to me today. I was in the Jeep. Asked me, did you see a Sasquatch? He's talking about the story, you know? It's just
he had his notepad and he's got his stuff. It's like a researcher.
You know, whatever. Like,
yeah, right on.
So, and that's an important point you said right there, Leon, is that he imparted his knowledge onto everybody.
Right.
And he would help those kids. And if we were out doing something and somebody saw that Jeep, and he would just bring it along. And there's so many people that just helping them out. If they're on this journey, if this on this path, folks, the most important thing I think I learned from him is just help everybody in the community and try not to tear each other down. Everybody's helping everybody. And he, you know, I spent a lot more time in the woods with him than I have with some of my quote unquote mentors, the folks that brought me into this community, and sitting around a campfire. And, you know, there's a younger generation. And again, if we find something, we don't find something, but there's a bunch of kids that can learn from science. And we had this talk around that fire so many nights that the stepping stone of Bigfoot might be somebody that solves cancer or something because they got involved in science because of somebody like Joe. And that's something I got to say is that he was and that's part of our talks and what we did is that there is a generation that we can teach if we take care of each other and not beat each other up in this community. And that's something I learned from him. I mean, it took me many years. I mean, I met him in Pennsylvania years ago at Erica Altman's event, and it took us years again to Whitehall again. And I mean, that was a big thing. It's Mike, are you going to be live so I can see things in Whitehall? It didn't happen. I felt like I let him down on that one too, you know, and I'm not going to let him down. I'm getting back out there for him.
Amen to that.
Yeah. I think we all probably have little Joe nuggets.
Yeah.
That, you know, you hear it sometimes, you know, that little voice it's there, and you hear his voice telling you, hey, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a very admirable person. Very admirable.
Right.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
We got you, Molly. I see she's back in the chat.
Yeah, she's in the chat, and of course, I'd really like to thank you guys for coming on and spending this last couple of hours here, you know, talking about our friend, and everybody who tuned in. I'd like to thank you guys for coming and sharing this time with us. So I'm going to do my little end bit here. And so as we conclude this celebration of Joe's life, let us carry with us the warmth of the memories shared, the laughter that echoed through these screens, and the profound impact of a man who truly lived, Joe Snyder, our friend, our fellow adventurer, may have left the physical realm on October 17th, 2023. But his spirit lingers in the stories we've shared and the love we continue to feel. In the pursuit of happiness, Joe found purpose in the mysterious, joy in laughter of friends, and fulfillment in the embrace of loving community. As we say our farewells, let us remember that even in death, Joe would have wanted us to live on, boldly, passionately, and with an unyielding commitment to the pursuit of our own happiness. May the memories we've shared today serve as a reminder that life, much like the investigations Joe embarked upon, is a journey filled with both known and unknown wonders. As we step forward from this moment of reflection, let us honor Joe's legacy by embracing life's mysteries, fostering connections with one another, and finding joy in the pursuit of our dreams. Joe, in your memory, we commit to living our lives to the fullest, seeking joy in the ordinary and embracing the extraordinary. Farewell, my dear friend, and thank you for the gift of your presence in my life, in our lives. May we all carry a piece of your adventurous spirit with us as we continue our own journeys.
That's beautiful, Nikki.
It is.
So I'm going to play this, and this will take us out.
Uh-oh. What do you do?
Yep. Uh-oh. What did I do? Here we go.
Oh.
I love you guys. You know I do. And as I always say,
Oops, shit.
Yeah, as I always say, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Stay objective, and we're going to start seeing you from the woods here sometime. All right, everybody. Good night, and thank you.